Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and Ramadan Kareem for my fellow Muslim brothers and sisters, and Happy Easter for my Christian brothers and sisters. Today we are going to talk about African economy and China, and we are going to talk about how Africans who are living in China are being treated because of the COVID-19 outbreak. Before we say anything, let us talk about trade. It's obvious to anyone that China is investing heavily in Africa, and it remains Africa's biggest trade partner. According to the General Administration of Customs of China, in the first 6 months of 2019, the total trade between Africa and China was worth 1.86 billion dollars. Of course, every country needs trade partner. Trade is the backbone of economic growth. Trading has been part of our lives for centuries, but trading is not productive if it benefits only one side. The benefit should be mutual. It should benefit both sides. On March 21st, 2018, 44 of 55 African countries signed a free trade agreement between African countries in Kigali, Rwanda. I personally believe that free trade within African countries will benefit Africa and Africans. I hope this agreement will be implemented sooner rather than later. Africa has to start trading within Africa more than it trades with China. I'm not implying that Africa has to completely stop trading with China. That cannot happen whatsoever in this globalized economic system. What I'm trying to say is that there should be a fair trade that benefits Africa and Africans, a trade that eradicates poverty and elevates the economic status of Africans. For such fair trade to take place in Africa, first of all, Africa needs to develop strong economic policies like free trade within African countries, a policy that controls in and out of African resources, a policy that improves economic status of every families and individuals who live in Africa. And most important thing, there should be political freedom, government that is governed by people, not an individual or group of people. African leaders should fight for the future of Africa and not for power, and they have to work together. Remember, collective knowledge and unity is a ticket for a better tomorrow. I know there is an organization called African Union, but I don't believe African Union is doing much for the future of Africa. There is much need to be done. The African people need to contemplate deeply. By deeply, I mean the future of Africa depends on how Africans think today. Every African leader who fails or who is incapable of thinking for tomorrow rather than for power should resign and give the power to the people who are capable of fighting for better tomorrow. Again, the future of Africa depends on how Africans think today. Of course, Africa is in progress according to the IMF, International Monetary Fund. Africa is among the 20 fastest growing economies, and Africa is number 7. It is not only that Africa has become the fastest urbanizing region in the world. There is no doubt that near future Africa can and will be economic giant. Therefore, African leaders need to have faith on the potential of their people. Remember, Africa has everything. God blessed Africa with abundant natural resources. I will be back after this short break to talk about how Africans are being mistreated in China as a result of COVID-19. Welcome again. We know and the world knows that COVID 19 was originated in China and spread like wildfire throughout the globe. But Africans who are living in China are paying the price. Africans are being targeted in China and they are being mistreated because of their skin shade. It is disgraceful and unintelligent in 21st century to mistreat people solely because they have a different skin color. It is unacceptable. Africans are not responsible for COVID-19 outbreak. It is China, but we don't blame China because it is not right. This pandemic is everyone's problem. It's humanity's problem. It could have originated anywhere in the world, like chickenpox, which originated in Europe, Spanish flu, or influenza virus that claimed between 20 and 50 million lives, and the 2014 Ebola outbreak in West Africa. So, when such a calamity strikes, it is unacceptable to pinpoint on group of people or a country. So it is the responsibility of China and Chinese government to stop discriminating against Africans who are living in China. They should not be evicted from their houses, nor they should be forbidden from entering any restaurant in China. It is not appropriate to discriminate and mistreat people because they look different. Chinese government has to do the right thing to make sure that such hideous action not to happen again. Today there are over 1 million Chinese people who are living in Africa peacefully, and many campaigns that are operating in Africa. Again, the government of China has to take drastic measures to protect and compensate the people who were mistreated and kicked out of their residence. Not only that, the African leaders have to stand to protect the dignity of their people. My take-home message is: let us not discriminate against one another based on our skin color. Let us work together to slow down COVID-19 pandemic and make the world a better place, not only for us but for generations to come. Thank you.